So today I'm going to be looking at the Boss BF2 flanger pedal. Rather than talking a whole lot about the tech specs, I'm going to go right in and play through what I feel are 5 or so of the most usable sounds. I'm going to be using my most favourite Fender Jazz Bass USA Deluxe 2005 18-volt active. Things are set pretty flat on the preamp, maybe a little bit of mid-boost, both pickups on full. Going to be using a pick for most of the sounds today because I feel it brings out the characteristics of the flanger more so than fingerstyle. Here we go. So those are the sounds that I feel are most usable on the pedal. A little bit of technical information for those that care. BF2 has 4 different control knobs. Manual controls the delay time of the effect and can also be used to adjust the center frequency of the sweep. This is most notably heard when the resonance knob is all the way up. What I've also found when I've been playing with this is that the manual control also acts as almost like a tuning knob to affect the pitching of the overtones that you get. Sometimes you might find that depending on the key that you're playing in, the setting that you've got the manual knob on doesn't really sound very good and you have to do a little bit of fine tuning with it. At least that's what my ears have been telling me when I've been playing with it. So it's worth fiddling around with that. Depth controls the depth of the effect, as you might expect. Rate affects how rapidly the sweep occurs. Res, short for resonance, controls the amount of resonance or feedback in the sound. So the pedal is pretty straightforward in terms of the controls, pretty easy to dial in a sound straight away. Standard, classic, robust Boss pedal case construction, which we're all familiar with. I'm willing to bet that 95% of the people watching this own or have owned a Boss pedal in their lifetime. They're pretty cheap and cheerful, but they do the job. So standard input, output, single jacks each side, 4 knobs across the top, battery compartment accessible underneath the foot switch via a screw. Power supply, if you've got an older one, it might be a 12 volt. You can still run it on 9 volt, but as the conspiracy theorists in nerdy corners of the internet will tell you, it won't sound quite the same. Use your ears. Let them be the judge as to whether you want to run it at 12 volts or 9 volts. It might not really make very much of a difference. So the BF2 is a pretty cheap and cheerful way into some more interesting and esoteric modulation sounds that you might not have used before, and I was really intrigued to find out that it can do a fairly passable job of things like a chorus and a Leslie if you have a need for those sounds, which not many people will, but it's nice to know that you can fake it without buying specific pedals for those separate sounds. If you're looking for a more detailed rundown of the technical specs of the pedal, along with second-hand market price guides and some alternatives from other brands, then click the link in the video description below and head to FreeBassTranscriptions.com, where you can also find over 200 note-for-note PDF transcriptions of classic and contemporary bass lines, along with gear reviews and lessons.